The biggest thing that people in the Patriots organization right now are talking about is not the cap space, is not the NFL draft in 2025, but it is who are going to be the coordinators for the New England Patriots, who are the assistant coaches going to be, who are going to fill these roles, plain and simple. And when it comes down to it, we have some good and some bad news when it comes to filling these coaches' positions. So let's jump into it. First and foremost, if you've not seen this channel, if you have no idea who the heck I am, my name is Aaron, and on the daily, I push out Patriots content for people just like you. So do me a favor, before we get started, hit the subscribe button wherever the heck it is, hit the like button, and comment below, ladies and gentlemen. So we have some good news, we have some bad news. We're going to start with the bad news first. And some people might not view this as bad news, but in my opinion, this is not great news. Scott Peters is leaving the Patriots to take over as the Bengals offensive line coach. Now, for him, that is a kind of a linear transition to another like position. And so, and when it comes down to it, the Bengals offensive line has been better. They drafted an offensive lineman last year. They've made some moves to improve to help Joe Burrow, because that's been one of the biggest issues in Cincinnati ever since they made the Super Bowl. Even when they were in the Super Bowl, that offensive line wasn't that good. Now, I liked Scott Peters. I think he had a unique way of coaching the offensive line. And a lot of people might point out right away, Aaron, how bad was this offensive line? Correct. But again, Scott Peters is the one out there that is trying to fix this Frankenstein and make it work and make it manageable for this team and for this offense. And I think what he did with some of those players, especially like Ben Brown, who they literally just picked up out of nowhere. You know that, sure, Elliott Wolf is making some of these decisions, but you got to assume that Scott Peters has a say when him being the offensive line coach and in looking out and seeking out talent. And so when it comes down to it, I think Scott Peters is a big loss. He is one of the coaches that I thought there was maybe a possibility he would be retained. And again, a lot of you might say, Aaron, you're an idiot. No, but he had a very unique style of coaching the offensive line, specifically with hand placement and training. And I think he had a very huge upside when it came to the assistant coaches that Judon Mayo brought in. You may disagree, but this is what I want you to do. First comment below. What do you think about Scott Peters leaving? Good, bad? What's your thoughts? It might be different from mine. I want to hear from you. So kind of bad, but not awful news. In other news, Jeremy Springer will remain the Patriots special team coordinator. Again, special teams was not horrendous. You look at Brendan Schooler, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowl nominee. And besides that, you look at, assessing and putting in Joey Slye. Joey Slye did not have an awful season. Again, I think it's still possible that position could be up in the air if something else kind of falls into the Patriots' lap, depending on what happens in this offseason. But that being said, this special teams, I don't think was horrendous for the Patriots this year. And you look at, punt receive, kickoff, kick receive, especially with the new rules. I think Springer did a good job. I think that's a smart move as well. Like, I've heard that throughout the organization that he's a leader, and so it is what it is. But also here it says they were the number 2 unit in the NFL under special teams coach Jerry Springer, and so solid year for special teams. Keep them. Plain and simple, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that's tried and true. Keep with that. Next up, and last thing I kind of want to jump into is moving forward with the Patriots. We look at not only obviously filling coaches' roles, but we look at what's the cap space. That's the big question. What are we going to do with it? What is this organization going to do with this massive amount of cap space? As well, what's going to happen in the draft? Now, we know last season, Matthew Judon was upset with not getting his contract extended with the Patriots. There was times at practice that he wouldn't dress. He was frustrated. There was a time there was a little feud between him and Judon Mayo, and it ultimately led to him getting traded to the Falcons. Now, at the time, the trade, a lot of people were like, "Oh, is it a good deal for the Patriots?" It was this year, 2025, a third-round pick from Atlanta, which we know Atlanta did not finish well. Kirk Cousins ended up getting benched. Michael Penix went in, looked, in my opinion, better. That team has a lot of young talent on the offensive side of the ball, and so they could. And granted, their division is not good. It's one of those divisions where it's like, man, if you're just barely above 500, you're going to be making the playoffs. And case in point, Atlanta was in the thick of it for most of the year, and they ended up 8-9, and they just barely missed the playoffs, which is crazy. But that pick is the 77th overall pick, which could be a huge, will be a huge pick for the New England Patriots. So especially have a top 80 pick right there, ideal for any team that is rebuilding. On the flip side, Matthew Judon had one of his lowest marks, one of his worst seasons since his rookie campaign when he was in Baltimore in 2016, coming out of Grand Valley. He had 5.5 sacks, and it was far from his big-time campaign a couple of seasons ago where he had 15.5 sacks. And so you look at this, and I think off the bat, the Patriots won, and I said this before, I think they made the right decision. Getting rid of Matthew Judon, especially if you don't want to be on the team, we don't want you on the team. Kind of like KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne, when he started going on social media and ranting and saying all these different things, that's when the writing is on the wall and your exit is coming soon, especially for someone like KJ Osborne, where it's like your play's not even backing it. Like, we understand you're frustrated you're not getting the ball, but listen, we're just trying to run this offense as efficiently as possible, and you complaining ain't helping one bit. So see you later. Hit the road. You're gone. And Matthew Judon, I think it was the same idea where it's like, you're expecting us to pay you after you just got hurt this past season, couldn't play for the rest of the past season, and sure, you had a big year a couple of years ago, but you're so far removed from that, and you're getting older. What do you expect us to do? And then you start whining. Like, I just act like a grown man. Get out of here. Appreciate your time, but we're going to trade you. So I think the Patriots made out like a bandit with that. Again, a lot of people thought they could have got more, but you have to understand, it literally was, if he stayed on there and then he ended up leaving, then the Patriots they get nothing. They're done. And so at least they got something. Third-round pick, 77th pick overall, I think can be huge. I'm hoping they can do a good job drafting this year. Again, I think there's some diamonds, some hidden diamonds in this draft. I don't think it's as strong offensively as last year, especially at the specialty positions. You look at quarterback, you look at running back. I honestly think there's some late-round running backs, even though that's not a specific need. I think there's some late-round running backs that could make big impacts on teams in this draft. We'll probably talk about that in episodes to come as the draft comes up. But that being said, comment below. What do you think? Two things. First, the assistant coaching situations as Scott Peters exits. What's your thoughts on that? And then what's your thoughts on Springfield as well as Matthew Judon and this whole pick moving forward? What are your thoughts? The Patriots win it? They lose it? What do you think? Comment below. So that being said, my name's Aaron. You know the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. We'll talk later. Peace.